Hey guys, welcome back. I thought that we should go over very basic Blender functions for you who are new to Blender and a little bit scared of it because it's overwhelming. So let's start from the beginning. As we launch Blender, we always get this window. We want to press A and delete to clear out the board. Very basic stuff. Then we import our FBX. Now I have my FBXs right here in my mess of items, so I wonder if I can import both of them at the same time. I can! I never tried that until now. Yay me. Okay, we have our top and our bottom. This is the setup for today because this is the current comp. We have bones. All of these are bones. Yes, they're showing the wrong direction. Doesn't really matter. I was told at the start that I need to flip the bones and make sure that they're in the right direction before importing, blah blah. Doesn't actually matter. Maybe it does for animation mods, does not for this. So we can hide these. We just press H. I installed one of these for you guys so you can see which buttons I'm pressing. Let's hide them all. Here we go. Now, as you can see over here, we have a top and a bottom. We can open the top, and as you see, we have an end root right here, and under the end root, we have all the different parts. Looks like a lot, is really not. Anything under 0 point should be body parts. Sometimes it's not. People do it a little bit differently. Most of the time, it should be body parts. And you get the neck, torso, elbows, wrists, and then we have gear parts. All of these numbers flows back to text tools. They need to have these numbers for text tools to know where to put the textures. So you have these numbers right here, and in text tools you can look up these numbers. That's for another text tools day, not right now. But these numbers need to be here because they're important for text tools. You cannot just delete them. Okay, we have several different modes up here. Wireframe mode makes it easier to see through. You can see all the vertices. We have the blank mode, and then we have the color mode. Now, as I've said before, I have Meek Tools installed. It's a free add-on you can get for Blender. I use Fix Alpha Blend Mode and Fix Metallic to make it display better. Now that we have that, let's go in. No, I'm jumping ahead of myself as per usual. We have face orientation. Face orientation shows front and back faces. Not all modes will have front and back faces, that is manual, because text tools do offer a function to give you a back face inside of it. I'm simplifying it as much as I can. This tool in text tools, which is also what SE uses in game, is not perfect for all kinds of textures. Like this one is sheer, for example, and I'm imagining, I don't actually know, but I think that for this sheer texture to come out properly, we have a front and back face. Now, if I toggle this one off, for example, I've toggled off the back face. If I want to edit this top, like, let's edit this top, in edit mode. Let's say I've edited it, like I've upscaled it or something, and I want a new back face now, because I need the back face for this mod. I'm pressing Shift D. Shift D copies the mesh. I press Escape so that it snaps back into place. Now that it's in place, we are pressing Separate Selection. It's going to pop up a new selection right here, which you are gonna want to double click and rename to 1.2, because that's the back face mesh that's right there. Once that's done, we're going back to object mode and clicking on this part. Yes, we have to go back to object mode and then go back into edit mode. Then we press A, we press up here, mesh, normals, and flip. This means that it gets inverted. So now you've remade your back face, and that's how easy that is. No worries, right? We have Control Z for undo. Who would have thunk? Undo is a basic function. Right? We have... Let's turn this off for a second. It hurts my eyes. Scope mode, one of my favorites because I use it all the time. Radius, which makes it bigger and smaller. Strength, which is how hard you're gonna pull. I usually leave it at this unless I'm doing something very specific. Now, these can look like a lot. There's so many of them in here. Personally, I end up using elastic deform the most. Don't need to know much more than that. If you're just doing very basic minimum editing to mods, elastic deform is all you need. So let's just pull this, for example. You're just pulling a TD. As you can see, it will just pull it into a direction. And then we have a mirror function, which will make it pull in both directions. I only ever really use the X one. There is the Y and Z, but don't really need to use them. X is good enough. Let's see, and then we have Vertex Paint. Don't really need to go over this right now. Vertex Paint kind of affects in-game colorations through both hair, eyes, skin, all that. It's a whole ordeal, but we're not touching it because that's advanced. Weight paint, also advanced. But let's go over it real quick. If we jump into this little green triangle down here called data, we can find all the bones included in just this top part. You can see all the different areas. Yes, they are not in English. No, we cannot change this. This is again a much more advanced function. Weight paint is witchcraft. You'll have to do a lot of fuck around, find out, or read a lot. But I'm going to go over this another day because it's a little bit more advanced. So let's not get overwhelmed by weight paint. Most of the time you can automate it anyway. Not that automation is perfect, but you can. Did I forget anything? We have these, for example, which will snap you to the exact front and back. Then we have the exact sides. And of course up and down. Very useful if you want to like scroll in and get really close and just make sure that it's zoomed in all the way. The little freckle. Because otherwise the camera might just not agree with you, so it's really good to just use these to get really close when you need to. Have I forgotten anything important? Simplified. I do enjoy doing this though. So when I work on sculpts, for example, sometimes you get a little bit of shadowing in places you've done a lot of editing on. I like to use smooth vectors for that. And when you do press smooth vectors, you get a little window down here so that you don't miss it. You can then pull up the strength of it or pull down the strength, because sometimes too much is not good. Too much is too much. You get me. Yeah, I don't think there was much more here. I mean, we have UV editing. UV editing is also a little bit advanced. Now, I don't have textures pulled in here, but you can pull in the textures. And then you can... Fuck, what am I forgetting? Let's go back into layout. No, what am I thinking? No, I still can't get my textures. No, I need to do this. So you can get the texture map in here if you have it exported from Text Tools, and then you can see the layout of it. Yes, you can edit where they're pulling textures from. Again, this is advanced, not for everyone. It's complicated and exhausting. I'm not gonna lie, it takes time. There is automation functions for this if you're making your own custom mods. Not needed for accessories. I think that's it actually. I mean, you have also the very basic functions right here, which is just move. Let's go into edit mode again. We have move, which relocates the item up and down. We have a rotate. Rotate, do as rotate does, it rotates. And yes, this white one is kind of like a free-for-all tool. And we have scale. I use this sometimes for upscales to just, you know, get the correct size. When I go from male to female or female to male, it's good to use the scale tool. Again, it's not perfect. I have to do a lot of editing afterwards just to get it into the right shape, so to say, because they kind of differ a bit. I don't use this one. And none of those. Yep. I believe that's pretty much it. What am I forgetting? Modifiers, maybe, if you're gonna use modifiers. So let's go in here. Data transfer. Useful if you need weights on something and you want to steal it from something else, then use data transfer. We have mirror. I like to use mirror a lot because that means I only need to do an edit on one side and then I can press mirror mode, which would duplicate any changes I do on one side to the other side. And then once I am done doing that, I pull mirror up to the top and I press apply. It's that easy. I say it's easy, but you know, it's a whole ordeal. Now I haven't done any changes or anything, so it's not gonna give me the apply. Also, Blender's a little bit picky which mode you're in. Like, you can't do certain functions during certain modes. Sometimes you need to tap back into object mode to get access to something else, and so on. Blender's picky with that. Keep that in mind. I am not going over the animation tab today because I still need to fiddle with it a bit. And I do think that is it for today actually. Use the middle scroll button of your mouse to just, well, control the camera, and then I hold shift to pull. Hold shift and use the middle mouse button to get around. Yes, this makes me fuck up a lot in game after doing Blender and I keep pressing these damn buttons again. Auto brain kicks in real hard. But yeah, there we go. I think that's it for today. I run over the very basics of Blender and I hope that it helps you as much as it can for a beginner to just do your own model edits. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good night.